Hello everyone, this is Funamator here, and today I have yet another Avengers Exodus story. So, I know it's been a bit since I've done a Rocket Exodus story, I know it's been a while, and it's been a bit since I've even done a Avengers story, mainly because I have been so focused on the has-been work. And I decided to take a very, very small break from the has-been work. I do have a couple stories of has-been Hoto ideas in mind, but those are going to wait for another time. I also have a couple other projects on my second channel going. I will leave a link down to my story for a. Um, I'll explain that more at the end of the video. This time I'll have to remind myself to actually talk about it instead of just ending the video and having to record a second narration. But that's beside the point. I think this took me over, and I'm not even joking. This took like a month of worth of time to do, because I was bouncing on and off of the story. I was having a lot of trouble doing it. It was so difficult, mainly because when I first started writing it, I was actually very sick, and no, it wasn't COVID, because I know someone's gonna make a joke saying, "Oh, Band might have got COVID." No, I didn't. I know someone might think of that, not even as like a serious thing, but like as a joke. I don't want people to think that. Nor does the reader have COVID, but I think it was like back whenever I got rather sick from stress and from everything that had happened over a couple weeks ago, and I got really sick. So there's that. So be sure to take care of yourself and not get stressed out. Otherwise, you will get very, very sick, like me. But this was just simply titled Rocket X Secretor. I really wasn't really. I was too lazy to think of a title, and I guess that makes sense. But yee. And the only real information I put in this story, aside from the actual story, is just NN stands for nickname. So I'm gonna say nickname instead of NN, just so you know. But yes, why don't we go ahead and get ourselves started? You had recently visited Earth and caught a nasty cold or flu. You couldn't even tell since they both since they both have almost the same symptoms. So you were bedridden for the past week. You even kept your door locked for the most part, not wanting to risk leaving the other Guardians of the Galaxy sick. Rocket was naturally worried about you. Not seeing you for a week had left him in an irritable mood and mindset. Everyone knew why, but every time they tried to tell him that he was acting up, it only made it worse. It wasn't until Groot saw Rocket storm into his room that Groot decided to take matters into his own hands. He didn't speak. He just grabbed Rocket with his extending arms and picked him up. Groot, what are you doing? He struggled against Groot's grip, but it was useless. They stood in front of your door. Well, Groot was standing at least. Rocket finally wiggled out of his grasp and climbed onto Groot's shoulder. Why'd you drag me all the way out here for? I am Groot. Why are y'all so hellbent on me seeing your name? She's sick. I am Groot. I ain't worried about her. It's her fault she even caught that thing. And now for your point of view. I was barely even able to sleep with this horrible cold. I couldn't even sleep with the covers on. I only wore my undergarments, and even then I was still too hot. Then I heard these super loud footsteps. I was so out of it that I thought it was an invader. I sat up quickly, getting dizzy in the process, and put on a tank top and some shorts. I then grabbed a blaster at my bedside. I was about to swing the door open, but then I heard it was Groot and Rocket. I grew confused, and I peeked under the door crack to see Groot standing there with Rocket on his shoulder. Then I heard what he said. I ain't worried about her. It's her fault she caught that thing. I groaned. Just when I thought I'd have a genuine moment of sweetness with Rocket showing some concern, he dumps that bomb onto me and Groot. I got up from my spot on the floor and opened the door. Well, it's not as though I planned on getting sick, Rocket, I said with some sass as I leaned against the doorway. Rocket had a look of shock as he saw me. I know, I look awful. He had no kidding. You're sweating like a pig. This is the curse of a fever. When it's when the immune system is trying to kill the virus by heating up. Colds don't do well in the heat, so Rocket gave an extremely confused look. I sighed. It means I shouldn't take any medicine because the fever needs to kill the virus. Which, by the way, that's actually a bit of a tidbit for you guys. Whenever you get a fever, that means that your immune system is trying to kill off the virus. So it's wise to not take fever reducers unless you absolutely need to. Just so you know. Okay. When I stood straight back up from my lean position, the world spun dramatically. My footing grew unsteady, and Rocket and Groot panicked. I fell to the floor, but Rocket helped me up. Your name, are you okay? I I'm fine. Just feel a little dizzy. I was struggling to keep my eyes open, but Rocket and Groot were panicking beyond belief. Groot hoisted me up and put me back in bed. Go get her some medicine. I'll keep an eye on her. Groot nodded and left the room. I was fading in and out of consciousness. At one point, I was awoken by a cool fabric placed on my forehead. I opened my eyes to see Rocket and Groot to see Rocket looking at me with concern. I felt a pounding in my head. I flinched at the bright light in my room. Your name, what's wrong? Light's too bright, I said. He quickly went up to turn off. When the light shut off, I felt a weight lifted off my eyes. God, I cannot talk. It's late. Thank you, I croaked out. I then turned my head and suddenly a straw is shoved into my mouth. I protested, but he just spoke back in an annoyed tone. Shut up, you dumb Humie. Drink so you don't sound like a cactus. I rolled my eyes and drank away the water, and he soon pulled away the straw. I wouldn't like to admit it, but I felt much better now. Thanks, Rocket. Don't mention it. I smiled, but he quickly said, Seriously, don't. I don't need this in my record. Oh, so you'd rather not be seen as someone who actually cares? You said with a sarcastic tone. But you were somewhat hurt. Rocket rolled his eyes. Please, your name. You know what I mean. The minute I try to try and be nice, Quill and Drax give me crap. So keep your mouth shut, he said with warning. You knew better than you knew that you should just go with it. You knew he cared for you, but he just wasn't comfortable sharing out care with Quill and Drax. But then again, could you blame him? Sorry, Rocket. Why? 'Cause you're stuck dealing and taking care of me. I guess this is what happens when I don't wash my hands, he said with a sad smile. Your name, you gotta learn to stop putting yourself down. Are you one to talk? Are you gonna let me talk? Sorry, go on. He huffed and continued. I know I can't talk much, but I can say that even I get sick of putting myself into a ditch. So if you want to get anywhere in life, you gotta learn to shut up and stop listening to yourself. Otherwise, you'll wind up dead. That was surprisingly insightful. Thanks, Rocky. What you said with a smirk, whatever your nickname. Even though you couldn't kiss him per se, due to being sick, you did tell him thank you and pat him on the back. He just hummed, his way of saying you're welcome. The end. So, as I was going to say at the beginning of this story, I do have a not really an original story per se, but I have a different type of story going on my secondary channel, Hardball Productions. I'll be leaving that in the description, as well as a story that I'm talking about, which I'll give you guys a hint. It's about a very well-known game developer who I personally adore beyond belief. And on top of that, I also do have a couple Gacha Life videos coming out on that channel, so stay tuned for that. If you like Honeycast stuff, I'm doing Gacha Life mini movies about them. So there's that. Aside from that, I'm trying to think here. Oh, this story also was not even just inspired off of me. I can also give some credit to Emiruchu, because Emiruchu at one point was really popular. Not popular, but at one point Emiruchu got very, very sick in a video, and she was talking about her experiences with getting sick. So I'm going to leave a link to that video as well if you want to hear Emiruchu sounding super sick and everything, because I thought it would be really cool to showcase Emiruchu being a sick little blob, because I know I've dealt with that in the past, but I'm sorry if this is a jumbled up mess of me stuttering, because it's close to midnight. And even though I don't go to bed until like 3 a.m., I'm still kind of tired. But, you know, I still got a lot of work to do whenever this video is done. Because it's going to go up pretty quickly because I got to edit this. And then I'm going to get to work on my next chapter, one of my books, and get some other work done. But, thank you all so very much for watching this video. And as always, this is Fun Writer. And I'll be seeing you guys all very soon. Stay safe and bye-bye.